Hey guys, this is Jen.
And this is Victoria.
And we're here to do a Q&A.
Do it.
We got some questions on IG. We're gonna answer them for you like we did last time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, by the way.
We'll start off with an easy question today. How tall are you?
Oh my God, what? That is my height. I am 5'5.5". I used to be 5'7", and throughout the years of competing, I shrank. So 5'5.5" now. What are you?
Fascinating. Really?
Yeah. My first show I ever did was in 2009, and I was 5'6 3/4". And then I did another show 2 years later, and I was 5'6 3/4". Then 4 years later, I was 5'6", and then 5'5 3/4", and then 5'5.5".
Maybe because your butt has grown, you're so far away from the wall that you lean back.
Sure, to make it
It's taking inches off your height. Sure. The last time I actually checked my height, I think was for an NPC competition that I did in 2016. And so I always just told everyone I'm 5'7". So I was like, I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed.
We should stand up, but then
We did.
ruin
So
Brad's world right now.
Brad and I did measure me at home, like old school, up against the wall with like a pencil,
Like I do with my kids.
like you do with your kids. And I actually came in at 5'7 1/4".
Wait.
So I was a little higher. I was a little taller. Maybe
All
my
right.
posture's improved.
Oh, that could be it.
So
Mine's not.
how do you incorporate static stretching into your routine, if at all?
I don't. I'm gonna be honest, that's the one thing that I preach that I do not practice. And every now and then I do a video about how I'm gonna do it, and then I stop doing it right after I make the video.
Yeah, I do a lot of active stretching,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of warm-up type stretching. And even actually post lifting, I wouldn't just sit into a stretch for very long. I think there's only two that I do that I would say I hold the stretch for a long time. And that would be a frog stretch, right? Have you ever done that with a...
I could show them, but that would also F up Brad's world.
I would say I hold that one a lot, and then maybe like a pigeon.
Okay, well,
I might hold that pigeon, or like a prone. You could do this at home, like sitting in your chair, and you just like that.
a glute stretch.
So I
Maybe
might
we'll do a video.
that for like maybe a minute.
We should do a video of you stretching me. That would be hilarious. Somebody said, yay, filming on Christmas. I guess I'm getting a Christmas present this year. Okay. To the person that asks me every single day, I am never doing another arm wrestling video again. Moving on. Next question.
We'll have to make that into a Reels just for you.
I know.
What is your weight difference between off-season and competition time?
Like on stage.
And happy holidays.
Aw, so sweet.
Well, that's interesting because my stage weight keeps increasing. First time I ever competed, my stage weight was 127. My most recent competition, my stage weight was 147.
And then what are you right now?
153, 154.
Okay.
Not a lot. So my maintenance is about 6 pounds, I would say, above stage weight. And when I'm building, I'll go up around, I don't like to go to 15 pounds up, but like maybe 10 to 12 pounds up. And my builds are usually like maybe 6 months because I usually have a competition I have to get ready for.
So my stage weight, the last show that I did last year, I was at 161 on stage at Masters, and I'm about a little over 172 now.
So about 10 pounds.
Yeah,
In
but
about-
I'm still going, and that actually leads into the next question. How much bigger are you gonna get? I'm pushing to see what I look like at 175, and then I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna keep pushing from there. So
So theoretically, if you were to cut to a stage weight again,
probably I would be like 163 or something.
so you'd hope to gain maybe 2 or 3 pounds.
Yes.
So that is a huge misconception. This is something I've been talking a lot about on my channel and also on my Instagram, is building, how long it takes for people to build, for women to build, I think men and women, and the expectations after a build. Just because you gained 10 or 15 pounds in a build doesn't mean you gained that much muscle.
Right.
There's gonna be some body fat that comes along with it. There's gonna be some water that's held in the muscle because of the extra food and glycogen storing in your muscle tissue, food in your digestive tract. And so when you actually do go to cut, you hope that maybe you gained 2, 3, maybe 4 pounds, 4 would be pushing it. So I've consistently gone up about 3 pounds a year when I build.
So at
It's
the,
very uneventful.
the show that I did before, I was very peeled at Masters. He had me come in a little fuller, so I wasn't as conditioned. You could totally see the difference because I did a photo shoot at High Roller. I was 152, so I was 9 pounds difference on stage. But again, I was
lean,
not,
yeah.
so
A
not
little bit more body fat.
Yes, and then the last time I competed was 5 years before that, and I was on stage in the 140s.
Oh, wow. Would you be interested in coming on to my podcast? I'll take a look at your podcast.
Okay. Who's stronger? I personally think pound for pound, she's stronger because I have her by 10 pounds. pounds, and we do a lot of the things we do almost the same weight. My hamstrings aren't getting stronger, so I'm curious because we haven't done a very heavy.
My hamstrings are really strong. I think it depends on the body part.
Yes, the body part and the exercise too.
Yeah.
And overall.
I mean, I guess you could look at somebody, that person over there is stronger than me in general. You could say something like that, but I think when it comes to bodybuilding, it definitely is body part specific and also exercise specific.
Yeah.
You can get really, really good at a specific exercise. That doesn't mean that you're stronger than somebody else.
What's your favorite food? People ask me this all the time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, probably burgers, but I just like plain old hamburgers and fries. That's my go-to refeed. I really actually enjoy eating my sweet potatoes and ground turkey. That is now my favorite meal. It used to be ground turkey and rice, but now sweet potatoes are so good, and all I do is slice them up into like little round flat circles, and I roast them, nothing on it. A little bit of Himalayan sea salt. By far my favorite.
Wait, is the question your favorite cheat food or your favorite steak food? I think mine's just tacos. Okay. I know, it sounds so easy. I mean, I like burgers, but I think like something that I just naturally want to eat all the time. Like I could have tacos every single day. Like different types of tacos.
Yep.
How old are you?
Are you asking me or are you gonna
It's a
tell
question.
them?
It's a question. How old
are you?
39 and a half.
And I'm 46 and a half. So when's your birthday?
May 4th.
Okay, so a little bit more like 3/4.
I know.
And I'm a half.
The clock is ticking.
Because I'm going to be 47 in July.
I had someone comment to me yesterday that they couldn't believe that you were 47.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is a good one though. If Crohn's and colitis wasn't an issue, would your meals change? And if so, what would you have? I don't really know how to answer that. I say that I'm blessed with Crohn's. I'm really glad that I have Crohn's because it keeps me in check, keeps me eating clean. I've had Crohn's for 23 years. I don't even remember how I used to eat before Crohn's. And then you can't answer that question, so now read yours.
Okay. Why do most fitness females get implants?
If you aren't physique for femininity,
I don't even know if that's a true statement.
well, not everybody does, but that's the reason why I did.
Oh no, I had my implants before.
Before you started doing
Yeah.
bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, not
But
before I
why?
started building. I wanted to get my implants before I started doing bodybuilding.
But what?
Oh, because I literally was flat chested.
Right, same thing, but like to be a little bit more feminine.
Yeah, I think it's a personal decision, and I waited. I know. I waited a long time though. I think that to say that it's because I was in fitness, that's actually absolutely not true.
Okay.
I think that people do things to their bodies because it's their body. If whatever makes them feel happy and comfortable and live their life to their fullest, do it.
I agree.
Like, don't let other people's judgments stop you. I don't think it's true that most fitness females get implants, frankly. I think there are a lot, but I think if you like hold the I mean, I have a client that is a plastic surgeon. I'm sure if I asked her, most of her clients are not fitness competitors.
Right, sure.
So I think that whatever you focus on, that's what you're gonna see.
Right.
So if I tell you, think about pink, think about pink, think about pink, and I say, where's brown? And you look around behind me, you don't see brown. All you see is pink because you're hyper.
Like all these female
Yeah.
bodybuilders, you look for the ones that have.
Yeah, you're gonna look for that and be like, that's what's normal. And I don't think, I could just count in the women in this room right here, and I don't think we might be the only two actually looking around.
What's your nationality? Love your physique. Thank you for the compliment.
your
And
nationality?
I am 100% Italian.
Like Northern Italian, Southern Italian?
My mom is from Sicily and my dad is from Calabria. My mom was actually born in Sicily and my dad was born in
Some good genetics. I am British. My grandparents were actually from Great Britain. And then on my mom's side, her dad, so my grandfather was Hungarian.
Oh,
So I'm 25% Hungarian.
Okay.
Otherwise, I am white.
white.
AF.
All right, go. All right, so she's taking forever. What size are you trying to get to, Queen? Thank you. Love the content. Keep pushing on those goals. Oh, they said, what size am I trying to get my peach? So that was one of the fun names.
What size are you trying to get your peach?
So right now my peach has been consistently 40.5 and it's now finally up to 40.75. I've gotten it to 41.25, so I would like to see what it looks like at 41.5. So that's like 3/4 of an inch more, and then we'll see. So it's all about we'll see. And this is a recommendation for anybody. You have a goal, you have a dream goal, you see what it feels like when you crush that goal, and then you decide if you want to go further or if you want to do something totally different. Maybe it's I get to 175 and I really like my fullness, but then maybe I change my goal to something else, like maybe a size of something or more lines or more condition or like a performance thing. So you just get to that goal, you crush it, and then you decide what you're gonna do from there.
All right, a deeper question. How do you deal with people's comments on your physique, even if they are compliments?
If they're compliments, thank you. I appreciate it. I always feel grateful, appreciative to those that send love.
You don't feel awkward?
No.
Did you ever feel awkward, even if it was like a compliment?
No, because I didn't used to get a lot. So fun fact
So you're
about
just like
me,
happy about that? You're just like, oh.
I was always the ugly sister, the ugly duckling. My sister, beautiful, model. I never got compliments. It literally was like 5-6 years ago that I started looking different, I feel like, and I started actually getting compliments. So I embrace them. If I was somebody that was always got them, it might like just roll off off. I might not feel anything.
What about like negative? Like, first of all, I think a lot of people can't take compliments. Someone compliments you and you brush it off and you go, oh, not really. Or, oh, I just washed my hair. You know what I mean? Like you brush it off rather than just saying thank you. So I think when somebody has a fitness transformation and they lose some weight and they start looking in good shape, they're not used to people complimenting them. And then also on the flip side, there's also the people who go, don't get too skinny, don't get too muscular. So then there's the backhanded stuff that's like maybe not a compliment.
Right. So, okay, I'll answer my version, you answer yours. So I actually I've talked about this a lot. Like if I have a client, if I'm standing in the studio, and this has happened before, one of my clients was like 78 pounds and one of the people that were working out, they're like, oh my God, D, and I'll say D, because this actually happened with my client D. Oh my God, D, you look amazing. And then she's like, thanks, but I still have this. And I was like,
right.
No, don't do that. Just say thank you. So there's that. And then I teach people, anytime my clients tell me that they get a compliment, I always say, I'm very happy and congratulations on that. But please be aware that the haters are coming because the compliments are going to turn into like, oh, you lost a lot of weight, or like they just ate a shit sandwich as they're giving the compliment. And that's because, and this is what I teach my people, the more and more you succeed, you're reminding people that they're not as strong as you. So your success reminds them of their failure, and they want to make you uncomfortable because your success is making them uncomfortable. So then they give you these compliments that are really trying to like, oh, do you really want to lose any more weight? Or are you eating? Or, you know, like I've had clients that are like, are you eating? Yeah, I'm eating. And they're making a point to make sure that they eat in front of other people. And then they overhear them saying, oh, now she's eating all the time. She must be bulimic. Like you can't get away from it. So you just have to recognize where those comments are coming from when they're not positive ones. What would be your?
So I agree. I think the first thing, a lot of people are, if they don't take compliments well, and I think that's just across the board in any space. It could be your work life, it could be your family life. People just aren't used to taking compliments. So this first step is to practice just saying thank you and zip your lip.
Yes.
Just, you have to practice it constant. That's what I had to do. I would be the person to be like, oh, thanks, but, and then rip yourself down. So you have to practice just saying thank you, smiling, and moving on. Now, if it is a backhanded compliment, or if it's even a negative comment, like, oh, you're getting too muscular, don't look like a man, or whatever. It's like you have to
recognize where it's coming from.
Understand somebody else's perspective. If they're just mean people, they're just mean people. I think a lot of people just don't understand your journey, and it's not their job to understand your journey. So you have to honestly ignore the stuff. Like, recognize where it's coming from and tell yourself a different story, like a new narrative for yourself. It's like, that person is obviously really hurting right now, or maybe they have some work to do in their life. It's not a reflection of you and your work. So it's really just letting it go. Now, what if it's to your face?
I don't know if I've ever really
not just like text, like someone actually to your face saying something.
I don't know if I've ever really had anybody say anything to my face. Maybe I've had like somebody make a comment about being too muscular, and I will just generally say, you know, that's your opinion. I didn't really ask it. It's your opinion. Maybe family members, and I would just say, I appreciate your opinion, but you know, it really doesn't do anything to me or for me. And I would highly recommend reading the 4 agreements. Don't take it personal, because that's their ish, not yours. And then piggyback off of what she said. For every negative comment that you get from somebody, negate it with 3 positive. So if somebody hits on you in any way, shape, or form, to your face, on Instagram, via text message or anything, you walk away, you walk to a mirror, and you give yourself 3 compliments. Have you ever had anybody say anything negative to your face?
I would say in terms of my fitness, but I feel like I have in other areas, right? I just can't think of like an example right now.
That is a very good question. We're gonna have to think about that off camera. Will we see you on the Olympia stage? So I did a video about being retired. I am just going to say, I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know the answer to that question.
Because I had Jay Cutler have a chat with me, with Andy. Might have sparked a little something. And then a good friend of mine, Christopher Luke, over at Blackstone Labs. This has been going on for like the past 24 to 48 hours. So we'll see.
What Jay says goes.
That's why I got back on stage.
I know.
It was a conversation I had with him in July or August.
Key tips to reduce lower abdominal distension.
That's inflammatory food. I would say it boils down to that and water retention.
Food selection is a huge thing to look at. And then also, if it's somebody that's had children.
Yes.
Did you ever have you've had kids, right? So you have stretched area, right? What do you do to tighten that area up?
So I really do believe in the waist trainer. I do. I do have 2 kids, but one was adopted, if you guys don't know. Any of my distension is usually from, I have Crohn's disease and colitis. My Crohn's is in the ileum, but I do work with a lot of people with medical conditions because of my medical condition. And a lot of the times I feel like the distension, even if you've had kids, you can get rid of that if you are really on an anti-inflammatory diet. You have to go to the bathroom every single day. Gut health is so important. So leaky gut syndrome is a thing. Like I've had so many people say to me, oh, it's a normal thing. I don't go to the bathroom every single day. But that's not normal. So that's another factor as well. But I definitely do think kids or no kids, you can get rid of that lower belly.
My top 3 tips for getting rid of lower abdominal distension would be, 1, look at your food selection. A lot of times I see people who they don't even realize they have some sort of sensitivity to something, whether it's gluten or dairy or something else. So really track and start to tighten things up and see what's affecting you. The second one would be training your transverse abdominals. So doing things like vacuums and planks and doing them daily. Doing them once a week is not enough. You have to be like religious about it. Get up in the morning, do 5 minutes and be done with it. And then
you do like 5 minutes before you do cardio.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. That's how I program it. I program it right after the cardio session, just so it's a habit. And you can over time strengthen that area and it's the way you stand.
Yeah.
People just stand, they're so relaxed.
Well, they're like this and then they're...
And so look at your posture. Posture is also kind of part 2 of that. As soon as you lift your chest up, you will feel your stomach area just tighten up. Yeah. And then I think the third tip for that would also be tied to your water intake. Yeah. A lot of people are chronically dehydrated, and I've noticed even myself, I'm not even in a fat loss phase right now. I'm not cutting and I'm eating a lot of food, but when my water intake is up, like my stomach stays flat. Yeah. So I think that there's a lot to do with that. That probably also ties into what you were saying with going to the bathroom. Yeah. A lot of people, because they're dehydrated, they don't go to the bathroom regularly. So
everybody thinks coffee is the go-to, but it's not. Water is like a natural laxative.
I drink one of these in the morning time before I even allow myself to have coffee anymore, and I'm regular.
Somebody asked me how many jobs I have. So technically I own my own private studio with my business partner. I also do online coaching. I also run a YouTube channel. I feel like I have more jobs. I'm a sponsored athlete for multiple companies, but I'm salaried with 2. So that's technically a job too. I'm a mom, so that's another job, which is paid for. I just have to brag for a second. My adopted autistic son made honor roll twice, and my 15-year-old biological son is just won a wrestling tournament, and he's a straight A student. So,
yay!
Yeah, I'm done bragging. Go.
How do you build muscle without gaining fats?
Good nutrition plan. Like you shouldn't be bulking when your body fat's too high, which is typically how people put on too much fat.
So back up. So people starting to build when their body fat is too high. So for a female, what would you say would be the range to start a build?
15 to 18.
You know, I got into something with a well-known nutrition expert.
And what they said?
They had done a post that the ideal range would be 22 to 30% for females. I know, that's what I said. I said it was way too high. I actually got some backlash for this. Ironically, a man commented, they said the range for a man to build would be 10 to 20%. So somebody else put in the comments, wow, 20%, that's lenient.
That's high for a dude.
And they agreed, but that's the thing. They agreed with the guy. They were like, haha, yeah, bro. Yeah, that's kind of lenient. But when I said
about a woman,
they literally labeled me as being unhealthy. That's for another YouTube.
Yes, that is.
But so I went back and forth and I'm like, I can look at your track record on your page of what you do, and I don't see any females you're working with. Come to my page, you can see hundreds of women that I work with who I walk them through builds, and the highest that I'll start a build for a female is 22%. I'll do it because they've lost a good amount of fat already, but the problem is you can only do, I think, maybe 4 months before they start to tip over into too high a body fat. So
you always have to do little mini cuts.
The problem with starting higher is that you can't go as long,
right?
Which shoots yourself in the foot. You want a good long build. So if you do start your build in the teens, as a female, by the time you get up in that weight, now you're gonna be in maybe low to high 20s. And I think that's beneficial for 2 reasons. 1, now you don't have so far to go when you cut, because eventually you're gonna have to cut. And 2, you're not going into those overweight categories. If you start your build at 28%, you will be overweight at the end of that build.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Potentially pushing obese. Yeah. So how do you build muscle without gaining fat? Number 1, start lean enough.
Right. Don't build too long. Keep it clean. Do refeeds with a purpose. Don't just do them just to do them. Those would be my answers.
You are going to get some fat gain in a build. That's part of it, but you really can do a lean build and keep it very marginal by having a good diet, high quality food sources.
Bringing the intensity to your training.
Intensity in the training, so you're not in too much of a surplus. Yeah. You're just in enough that the muscle can eat.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Put wood in the fire, let it grow, add wood to the fire, let it grow.
Exactly.
Right?
Great analogy. I love it. I don't understand this question. What favorite group of friends for you? I don't even know what that means.
Me. I put that
That's not you. Like, who's your favorite person to work out? Oh, Victoria, you're leaving questions in my box. Okay, what do you do for recovery? I see Miguel over at the torture room. We were just talking about him in the last video. I highly recommend body work for everybody and anybody. I talk about the 5 components of fitness. Mindset, you have to believe that you could do it. Nutrition, because you eat like an a-hole, none of these other things are gonna work. Training, cardio, and recovery. And recovery for me is Miguel.
Part of the pie.
Yeah, what about you?
Same, literally,
Miguel.
exactly the same.
Okay.
Either Miguel or I see Dr. Dave. But I try to do a weekly, ideally weekly. If that's something that's hard for you, maybe every other week to get in to see somebody for some body work, or the stuff that you can do on your own, right? So like foam rolling, like an Epsom salt bath.
Just gonna say that. Saunas.
So Theraguns. Right, the massage guns. But having a dedicated time that you make sure that you get that done. Oh, I had a great one. What are your steps? Do you need them if you are trying to build?
You have to stay healthy. Like, you have to have good heart health. You have to have good stamina. All those things are going to help you in the gym with bringing the intensity. And then, yes, I definitely recommend it.
I think it's an interesting question because it's really unique to the individual. I have clients who are nurses, for example. Maybe they're on their feet all day long and they're getting 20,000 plus steps in a day. I actually know women who are stay-at-home moms that they're just running around doing stuff and get 20,000 steps in, and then maybe they're an ectomorph and they want to build muscle. So sometimes I've had to tell people stop moving so much.
Yeah,
because it is a fine balance.
Keep giving them food. They just have to lighten up the activity.
That's what I was asking about you earlier when we were training. Like, how much food can your digestive system actually take?
Andy and I did. We did a bulk, and I got up to eating close to 9,000 calories, and then we cut back, and we've never gone really over 5. 5 is pushing it. When he said,
so are you training 4 days a week now?
Yeah.
Right. So not 5 days, so that's good.
Yeah.
So one of the things when you're trying to build is you want to make sure that you're in an energy surplus. If your steps are so high or your training is so high and now you keep having to add food, but at some point you have, like, it's like a bell curve. Some people just can't keep eating more food. It's unrealistic, like their digestive system can't handle it, or they just don't like to eat that much food, or their lifestyle doesn't allow for them to have as many meals.
Yeah.
Then you have to start to bring down activity. You usually don't want to bring down training. So it will typically come from reduced cardio, reduced steps. But I agree with you. I think as a baseline, like we aim for 8,000 steps a day. So not even 10. And I have days where I probably only get 5.
Yesterday, I looked at my steps and I got like almost 6.
Yeah.
And yesterday was a rest day. So.
Yeah, so it's probably good for you.
Yeah.
And you actually dropped a pound, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Somebody asked about Chelsea. She's been on my channel. She's an athlete for Blackstone Labs. Do I think Chelsea will be gold Olympia in 2025? I do.
Another builds question. Am I going to gain muscle if I lift heavier?
There's a lot of depth to that. If you're eating right, yes. If your form is good, yes. If you're training to almost failure or failure, depending on the cycle that you're on in reference to, like, are you doing higher volume? Are you doing low reps? Are you in like what I call like a powerlifting-ish kind of phase or a bodybuilding phase?
So your answer isn't, it's not about lifting heavier.
No, there's so many other factors. Right. Not about. That's why we keep saying in a lot of our videos, don't look at the weight that we are doing, look at the way that we are training.
Yeah. Gaining muscle isn't about just lifting heavier. It's an important component to make sure that you're challenging the muscle, but there's so many other ways to challenge the muscle. How you perform the exercise matters. Your tempo, intensity, techniques that we use matter. Your diet matters.
Giving your body the fuel.
Rest, recovery, sleep. Yep. So a lot of people think as long as I just go in the gym and I'm adding a couple of pounds every single week to the bar, I'm just going to gain muscle.
And that's not just progressive overload. No.
I think we're done.
Because I got to go pick up my kids.
I have a few more, but we're going to have to save those for next time.
All right. Did you like it?
I liked it.
I liked it too. I always like it. Love Victoria. Speaking of favorites, Victoria.
I am your favorite.
I have a lot of favorites, but we have a lot of fun training. People love our videos because of our dynamic and then the teaching too. Because I know you guys want to see us push, but you also want to know why we do stuff and how you can feel it too. Feel it in the sense of like, do you want to touch us? Or
all right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. We will be doing this at least once a month. Yeah. So we'll be adding our Q&A to Insta stories so you guys drop questions, or if you guys drop questions on this video or any of our other videos, we will gather them and we will make sure that we address those in the next videos. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.